What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Waterboy podcast. Today it is episode 34. Episode number 34.
Yeah,
Got a packed
counting.
schedule today. We're recording this on a Tuesday, getting this up on Thursday, but for some reason, the past 8 hours, like 8 different things in the NFL just dropped. Once again, the NFL is king. They reminded us of that on a Tuesday. So yeah, NFL's king.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that counting is hard for this show.
Yeah, we're not really up to date when it comes to like counting, and we're not numbers guys. We're water boys after all. That's not really our industry. It's not really our field. We stick to the water boy stuff. We're not the analytics guys. But yeah, on the schedule today, we're starting off. We were gonna talk about baseball, but no, we're not anymore. So we got a little bit of NBA, then got some college football, and then got to wrap it up with the beast itself, NFL. Way too much going on in the NFL. NFL is king. Let's get right into the episode. All right. Okay. Starting off, Everett's got NBA stuff. I mean, I'll be honest. So much NFL happened today. It's just swamped my brain. So I'll let you lead this NBA talk.
Yeah, no, let's be honest. The NBA currently is basically irrelevant outside of
The free agency this year is just disappointing. Like in my opinion, maybe a bit a year ago, but 3 summers ago, maybe 2 summers ago, when it was the
Kawhi Leonard,
Kawhi, AD. Yeah. Oh my God. Just like that was like the greatest stretch of 3 weeks of my life.
Outside of Brian Windhorse's weekend, the Windhorse weekend, the NBA has had nothing.
Not many moves. We don't know what KD and Kyrie's doing yet. That's apparently they might have to stay. I don't know.
That's what this is about. First and foremost, just as a general thing, Kyrie Irving has apparently said that he's fine staying on the Nets even without KD. So a little confusing what's going on there because it's been reported, but it wasn't reported. But so it's probably a ball sack. Probably a ball sack. But
any report I hear now is I just can't believe anything I hear out of the NBA. Like I can't believe anything they say.
It's essentially 50 ball sack sports. But with that said, apparently the Celtics offered, this is probably a while ago, but the Celtics offered the Nets Jaylen Brown, Derek White, a first-round draft pick in exchange for Kevin Durant. The Nets declined that and rebutted it with Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, multiple picks, and a first rotation player. Like a number, like just a one rotation player. So
once again, Pritchard.
Once again, the Nets are delusional.
So okay, okay. Let's start with the Nets perspective first. Okay, why do you think that's exactly delusional? I kind of think it's a fat haul for the Nets.
They're delusional in the fact that they think that the Celtics would accept that. It's the same thing when they try to trade with the Timberwolves, and their proposed trade with the Timberwolves to get Kevin Durant was going to include Anthony Edwards.
Okay. For a second, I thought you meant delusional, as in like you can get more for that. I was like, what are you saying? Okay,
they're delusional. Right. They're delusional in the aspect that they are asking ungodly amounts. Like I understand Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant, but and I understand Rudy Gobert destroyed the entire trade market. So you know what? It's understandable, but you're just not going to get that. So at least if he doesn't want to be there, instead of just kind of sitting it out and maybe, eating that contract, I would just kind of pawn him off. I mean, you could also just trade KD to the Lakers, take Russell Westbrook, but I don't know if you guys want. Then they would really be delusional. I don't know what would be going on.
So I want to look Kevin Durant's contract situation real quick and just see. So okay, whichever team KD potentially gets traded to, they have him locked up till 2026. So that's also that's also a reason why you can up the asking price a little more if you're Brooklyn. Okay. Just because you have him. I mean, but yet again, Kevin Durant can just force a trade out of your team. So then again, the contract really doesn't mean shit. But one thing that I saw earlier this week, the NFL blew up my mind. I can't believe I forgot about this. But earlier this week, when this kind of got leaked, Jaylen Brown reacted on Twitter like shaking my head or something. And so And I look, the top reply was a Celtics fan saying, uh, like, I understand where you're coming from, JB, but you'd understand it's Kevin Durant. It's just a graphic of KD in a Brooklyn number 7 jersey, which is Jaylen Brown's number. I was like, God damn, Boston fans just don't give a shit.
Relentless.
They're
Relentless.
ruthless, man. Like, also as a coming from my Laker fan and Dodger fan, from my LA fan perspective, I'm also ruthless as shit. And I have zero
But it's
loyalty,
a
and I'll
little
take
bit
whatever's
different.
available.
It's a little
Yeah.
bit different.
Yeah, when it's like Boston seems to be, they pride themselves, in my opinion, on like the whole Boston culture, everything,
Yeah,
the
no.
team dynamic. Like LA, I mean, it is the Lake Show, but like remember, it's a show. So we got to put the best product on the court. That's priority number
Yeah, the
one.
Lakers haven't been great about that one for a bit.
In the past 2 years, no, but the AD trade, even though now we bash on it, yeah, they won a ring, although it was a Mickey Mouse ring. It paid off in the grand scheme of things, you could say.
Some people would say, to clarify. I don't know.
Well,
Not
I mean,
everybody
looking
would
at
say.
last year, I guess you can't say that trade has just at least propelled the
So
Lakers back into a
okay.
perpetual like
Here's
threat because they didn't make the playoffs last year.
here's
But
the
like,
thing. We talked about this a couple episodes ago, and this is going to be a reiteration of that between the Anthony Davis, Zion Williams, or not Anthony. So the Lakers, Pelicans
AD
trade
trade,
for AD, the AD trade. Who won the
yeah.
trade? Because personally, I feel like the Pelicans won that trade.
The thing is, you maybe you can like perspective, like potential outlook, like yeah, the Pelicans, they have more young pieces and everything, but like, I mean, yes, Bi's a baller. I was a big Bi fan out of Duke also. I remember when they were like a 4 seed. I remember that was like the first game on Friday, March Madness. Don't know how I remember that, but I've always been a Bi guy. He's blossomed. Lonzo's not on the team anymore. Is Josh Hart still with them?
Josh Hart is not on the team anymore.
So
He was
was
traded.
it just a essentially
Josh,
now it was just a Bi for AD swap if we like
well,
look back
no.
at
I
it kind
think
of?
they packaged the Josh Hart and a couple other players from that trade for CJ McCollum. So essentially, they got Bi, CJ
Okay,
McCollum, and
Bi and like
I think they
CJ.
got like Alvarado and one more starter who was a rookie last year on defense. I don't know his name, but he was like their
I
best.
think they drafted Jackson Hayes too out of that.
They
Actually,
did.
there's
They
no
did.
way. There's how
No,
would the
Jackson
how
Hayes.
would the Lakers have a pick that would have been like a lottery for
It wasn't a lottery.
pick without?
Jackson Hayes was like in the middle. It was like 15, and it was because
He
remember
was
the
like
season.
10 or so.
No, he was
That's
like
what I mean.
15. It was also the Lakers were deplorably bad that season with LeBron. Remember LeBron said that it's like I'm back. Like
Oh, actually, yes, I
playoff
do.
Bron's been activated, and he proceeded to get shut down like a week later.
He went number 8, Everett.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean
But
they did really
now
suck.
that I think about it, the Lakers were pretty shit that year. They were like pretty good until December when Braun got hurt, and then it was like it
Well,
was just back to the
then
OG Lakers. Like we rolling out Jordan Clarkson every night. Like I mean, fucking Nick Young's out here taking half court
hey,
shots like Swaggy
don't
P.
forget. Then, like I said, then playoff Bron got activated. Subsequently, shut himself down a week later after he couldn't carry the team on his back because they were too deplorably bad.
I mean, when you look back at it from an overall perspective, it was a smart move by LeBron to sit out the rest of that season,
Oh yeah,
tank it for the draft stock for the 80 trade. Overall, it was a good decision by LeBron James. Legacy wise, though, bad.
Skip Bayless would probably agree with you on that one.
Skip Bayless, we got to react to this. Skip Bayless just announced his top 10, or I think he reiterated it, his top 10 NBA players all time.
Yeah.
He has LeBron James ranked as the 9th best NBA player of all time.
Where was Kobe on that? Wasn't he like 4 or 5?
7.
Oh, 7.
7 or 6 above LeBron.
So, well, at least he agrees with most people besides me on Kobe Bryant. But
I think it was like, I also know he had Larry Bird 1 spot ahead of LeBron. Larry at 8. He had Magic 2, MJ 1. I mean, every morning he posts a picture of him saying, "I can't lose in these shoes, MJ forever." So obviously he has Michael Jeffrey Jordan at 1. But I think it was Magic 2. I don't really remember
I
3
think
through
he
6.
had like Hakeem
Tim Duncan
Olajuwon.
might have been at like 6. Shaq was probably at like
Shaq was like
5.
5, and then I think Olajuwon was like
He might have had
4,
Tim Duncan over Shaq, to be
like
honest.
4.
Anyway,
Kareem was in
I
there.
mean, the LeBron hate is just unreal with this guy. I mean, at least he put him in the top 10. At least he did that. Shout out Skip. But this guy, like, there's no way he actually hates LeBron James that much. Like, someone in Fox, and I mean, even he was doing this back at ESPN, someone is like in his ear, like,
Telling
if
him
you're
like
just a
what to do
LeBron
that.
hater, this is how you get
Look,
all your
look,
clicks.
it's all content based. Like, people say absurd thing TJ Watt because they want to get clicks. Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
and it's like on first or not first take on Undisputed, it's literally Shannon's just Mr. LeBron stan, and then skips the LeBron hater,
just
of course.
just to
So
clarify, my TJ Watt was not because TJ Watt does that. No, that's because I was delusionally stating things that TJ Watt was better than Aaron Donald for clicks. So to clarify that one.
yeah, I mean it's
Transparency.
okay. It's okay.
We all do it.
It happens. But yeah, I mean
Look,
that
yeah.
rank came out of Skip. I was like, yep, this guy
Look, yeah,
LeBron will never reach his top 5.
I could have another thing for the NBA to be honest, but there's not really much. Charles Barkley might live or leave for the live golf scene, which would be really bad and really sad.
I think if Charles Barkley left for the live, they should also allow him to participate in the
Golf
tournaments.
tournament.
It should be like a double, kind of like the MLB trying to like uh have their guys mic'd up on the field. Like Charles Barkley should be mic'd up,
While playing
also
golf.
commentating the other golfers going around while also playing around at the same time. That would be money TV. You could put that on its own network and it would probably do more numbers than any golf
Well, no, I think
normal live broadcast they could do. The Charles
well,
Barkley version, oh yeah.
the live probably would, but like the whatever they're called, where like the NFL quarterbacks play with each other, that does pretty good numbers though, to be fair.
Yeah, yeah. Fair enough, fair enough.
Yeah, I don't really have much like important stuff from the NBA. Like we said, it is dead. NFL is supreme. So, with that, we can get on to college football.
All right. I want to start off Anthony Trash, the guy never ends. Somebody is in his ear. Well, it's kind of obvious. Everybody in college football is doing this, but it's all about Ohio State interactions. How do we rile up the most Ohio State fans? This time, on a PFF offensive tackle ranking post, I've been trying to find it. I saw this a couple days ago. I sent it to myself. I think they took it down. That's how egregiously like horrible it was. But on these rankings, I just remember 2 exactly. I'm pretty sure they got the Northwestern guy 1, which is right. And then at 2, they had Ohio State tackle DeJuan Jones, who I don't know, Ohio State fans. You tell me, would you rather have Paris or DeJuan Jones? Paris is rumored to go maybe top 10, top 15 the draft next year. DeJuan, I'm not sure exactly where he's projected to land, but DeJuan as the second best tackle in college football, I was so instead of severely underrating Ohio State, they just boosted the shit out of Ohio State this time, just overrated the crap out of them. Instead of getting Ohio State hate comments, they're getting Ohio State love comments, but not exactly because the actual Ohio State tackle, Paris Johnson, was ranked 5th best in the country. And if they like swapped them two, maybe they accidentally just had them swapped. And maybe that's why they took the post down. Hopefully that's why. But if they had Paris at 2, DeJuan at 5, I don't think any Ohio State fans would have like even interacted with it. They would have been like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, not a good week for the PFF creatives division over there, making all of their photos, like all the stuff that they put up, their images on Twitter. Last week they put Keaton Slovis from USC. He's playing at Pitt. They changed it, had to delete it, and put it back up with him at Pitt.
So they put it back up, fixing that mistake. But another thing I just want to say, they doubled down on that take. You know, they read all the comments like, how the hell do you have fucking Spencer Rattler over CJ Stroud? Like, they read all those comments, took it all in, and said, look at those numbies. Look at those numbies. Repost it. Do it again. PFF, I mean, they proved to me with that post. I mean, no surprise. It's just all about the clicks. It's all about the interactions.
Props to Anthony Trash. Might not know football that well, but knows how to get a click.
Like, the thing about PFF is, like, I think they're like PFF player grades a bunch of like BS. I think they just put a bunch of random shit and just put players wherever the hell they want, just to match their rankings. But I swear, if they just listed the college football quarterbacks based off of like their PFF grade last season, there's no way that Spencer Rattler was above CJ Stroud. There's just no way. There's just no way.
You know, if a player who's a potential number 1 overall pick and the Heisman favorite manages to implode himself versus us, Tulane, first game of the season at home, by the way, in Oklahoma, versus a team that was displaced by a hurricane, who had to practice out of a hotel, I don't know if he should be number 3 going into this year.
And also about that game, something I kind of think of a little from a Tulane perspective. Your home opener against Oklahoma gets canceled and moved, and now it's an away game. From a Tulane perspective, you're freaking pissed, and I think that would get the boys motivated a little more.
No, we were. There's a lot of emotions going on, to be fair.
Okay, maybe some anger. I'm not sure exactly, but from the Oklahoma perspective, getting that moved, getting your season opener moved from an away game to a home game, and you get an extra home game on the season that wasn't originally supposed to be there. Like, you got to be, from a Spencer Rattler perspective, you got to be like, okay.
Like,
he probably was like, okay, now I don't even need to watch film. Like, that was probably his reaction. Like, I don't need to think about Tulane.
Exactly why you shouldn't be number 3.
Yeah, I mean, bad preparation on a Spencer Rattler, and I mean that's why he got replaced.
What? Look, if I were to make this list myself, Spencer Rattler is probably around 7, 8 with Dylan Gabriel.
I'm like, I actually, yeah, he probably. I mean, he had like a 72% completion last year. I mean, yeah, he definitely is still a top 10 quarterback in college football, but top 3. I mean,
I just, like I said before, if you're a top 3 quarterback, you're in the Heisman contention. Like, you're not a long shot for the Heisman. Like, you are an immediate decision. Like, Caleb Williams, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, all of them are in the immediate contenders for odds to win the Heisman. Like, those are them. Will Anderson, I think, is there too.
I think he's a little I think it's like, because I think it's literally right now it's just Bryce Young, CJ Stroud,
and I know also PFF has stated that their odds are Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Caleb Williams. So why do you have Anthony Trash putting Spencer Rattler at 3? My other question is, where is Jackson Dart? Why is what?
Yeah, no Dart. I'm not sure if they had AR-15 on there either. I mean, if we're going off the hype factor, he's got to be in there.
He's apparently changing his name from AR-15, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, it had to happen, but
with reason.
Yeah, that is a sick nickname.
AK-47?
No, yeah, my brother was talking about that the other day. Like, he could have been AK-47 2.0. Obviously not the same factor. Having a Russian with the nickname AK-47, someone had to have told him, like, you're going to be number 47. But, like, I don't know. Like, that's just great branding. Phenomenal branding. Yeah, but that's the tackle rankings I had. Do you have anything else college football?
Yeah, I've got.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
The first thing is, this came out a little bit ago, but we never covered it. And I feel like you've seen this, but Kentucky quarterback Will Levis is an abomination to society.
Are we talking about his like food preferences here? I forgot exactly what it is, but like,
Will Levis,
does he eat? That's just whack as shit. What is it again?
Will Levis puts mayo in his coffee.
That was it? Oh, dude, what the hell?
Like,
okay, now real quick, I gotta know, is that his substitute for like sugar and like cream or whatever that like I mean I drink it black. I mean I'm a man. I just
when
drink
was
it
the
straight
last time
black.
you had
But
coffee?
this morning I drink it almost every day.
Oh. Yeah, I don't drink coffee.
Probably not a good thing that I'm already kind of like on that wave.
I like waking up in the morning, 4 a.m. grind, take smalts right up out of bed, get going.
Now, I mean, I'm no doctor. Actually, I'm not sure what would be more healthier, ripping smelling salts or drinking coffee every morning. One smelling salt or 2 cups of coffee. What is healthier?
Well, I'm currently training to be a doctor, and I would presume coffee is probably better for you long term. Although,
okay, all right.
Although smalts, like I don't necessarily know what the medical impact.
So the man studying that and aware of it willingly chooses to pick the thing worst. Okay, yeah.
Doctors are the worst patients. So
no, I know. No, I know. I think it's very funny.
To clarify, I am not in medical school right now, and I am also not a doctor. There's a
Dr. Everett. Dr. E, PhD. Rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, they just call me the doc.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we could do a special Dr. E and G PhD session. Maybe do a little therapy session.
Let's just hope I get into med school first. That's the starting place. Yeah. With that said, though,
starting with that,
I can diagnose Will Levis as having a health hazard to the entire world around him for putting mayo in his coffee.
I don't understand the benefits of that. I mean, Kentucky, but I'm not sure if he's from Kentucky. Maybe that's just what they do out there. I'm not really read up to date on standard Kentucky coffee.
Well, so
but
if we want, I can make a surprise guest appearance right now. My housemate is from Kentucky. We can confirm or deny this.
Yeah, I gotta know if that I gotta know if this is I gotta know if this is a distinct thing or if this is a recurring regional thing, because I've never heard of that in my life. Hopefully most of you haven't either.
Yeah, I'm getting them in here. Give me a second.
Okay, yeah, I mean that's atrocious. I don't know.
Yeah, so in the meantime, while we're waiting for our Kentucky expert to enter the premises, I do have one more just general college. I guess we're on college football. I don't even know why I said that. My brain doesn't work properly sometimes.
That happens.
Yeah. So the big thing is PFF tweeted this out. We love to talk about PFF on this show. Who is running back university, Georgia or Bama? Hold on that. The Kentucky expert is here.
Okay. All right. So, okay.
We were talking about Will Levis and his love for mayo coffee.
Oh, yes.
The question, you might want to squat down a little bit so you can get in here. The question is mayo coffee, like what is the Kentucky style of coffee?
Is that a regional thing, or is Will Levis just a whack job? Like
I'm not gonna say Will Levis is a whack job, but I would say that's his own thing. That's what I'll say.
Kentucky,
it's not a Kentucky style of coffee.
Okay. All right.
Drink their coffee pretty regularly. Occasionally, when a party's going on, we get some bourbon in our coffee because, of course.
Okay. It's fair enough. Understandable.
That's Will Levis's thing.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
You've heard it here first. Will Levis does not speak for the entirety of Kentucky when it comes to coffee.
Yeah. No. That is not an indictment on the state of Kentucky. That's a Will Levis thing and a Will Levis thing only. Hopefully, no one else on earth does that, or else you should literally be in jail. But yeah.
Okay, back to my question though.
Okay,
so
I said, Well, what was
PFF put out a tweet talking about what running back university is like all time.
Yeah.
Their choices were between Bama and Georgia. I have a feeling that you're not going to agree with either of those two selections, but
so I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna say Ohio State is RBU. I'm not gonna say that.
All right,
and I think I think it would probably have to be Alabama.
Yeah, so the main they have 4 running backs each on this picture. Bama has Sean Alexander, longtime running back for the Seahawks, I'm pretty sure. Derrick Henry, Mark Ingram, and Najee Harris. Georgia has Herschel Walker.
So also, I'm just trying to think. You said Mark Ingram, right?
Yes. Yeah, they have Mark.
Okay. Is Mark Ingram the only running back Heisman from Bama? There's got to be another, right?
That
There's got to be.
might be it. I don't think Derrick Henry won that because they were on a long.
I know Derrick Henry didn't, but there's no way Eddie Lacy won a
It
Heisman.
might be from a while ago. Lord knows Bo Scarborough didn't win a Heisman. So, yeah. But the other list, the Georgia list, is Herschel Walker, Todd Gurley, Nick Chubb, and Sony Michel. I think you lose points for having Sony Michel on that list. At least if you look at him from an NFL standpoint. I don't like college is a little bit different, to be fair.
Yeah. So like when for all of the like QBU, wide receiver U, whatever position U debates.
Didn't Trent Richardson also go to Bama? Yeah.
No. Like he might have won.
I don't think.
No. Oh, Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry won a Heisman.
Oh, he did. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. But
Why do I forget? How am I forgetting that? The hell?
I was just curious if you were gonna say Ohio.
I would say at least you could at least say for the meantime, Bama.
Okay.
In terms of just like recent tracker, and also Derrick Henry's also like destroying it. Todd Gurley was also destroying it for Georgia. I'll be honest. Yeah. So bit of a trade-off there, but I mean, at least overall, as of this year, it's overall Bama.
Yeah.
And like I wouldn't put Ohio State in it currently. If we're talking just what you did in college, though, it's obviously Ohio State.
Just from I mean, that's
if we're talking only what they did in college. But in my opinion, the QBU RBU debate, I think what you do in the NFL, like I do it from a high school prospect perspective, like because that's the only opinion that matters when it comes to who QBU, RBU, wide receiver, like literally high school recruits. That's the only perspective that matters. And so you kind of have to look at recent success and everything. Like you have to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So I would say Bama right now. If we're talking just what you did in college, though, and counting everything, Archie Griffin, only 2-time Heisman. Eddie George. Do I need to keep going? Zeke. I mean, we got Trevion now. I'm forgetting so many names right now.
Well, apparently Anthony Tresh doesn't think that Trevion is all that for the Big Ten.
I mean, at least he put him in the top 4. Yeah. At least he did that. I mean, at least he did that. We'll give him that. Okay, but good transition. I'm going to get into the Ohio.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Ohio.
I'm going to get into the Ohio State of the Union address. I've decided, screw it. This is what it's going to be called now. The Ohio State of the Union address. So first things first, we got some news in terms of commitments. Ohio State guys rumored to commit soon. So tomorrow, well, by the time this comes out, we'll already know where this guy is going. But on Wednesday, July 27th, Caleb Downs is announcing his commitment to either Alabama or Ohio State. He has gotten crystal balls to Alabama over the past 2-3 weeks. He did get Ohio State did get his last official visit though, and a lot of people were speculating like Caleb Downs looking like Ohio State has made significant progress with him. One thing though, kind of something funny. Ex-Ohio State wide receiver coach that I mentioned a lot on this podcast, Zach Smith, from their official Twitter account, they tweeted out, "Whatever the hell y'all did on that recruiting trip, never do it again." So on this last final official Ohio State recruiting trip, they had like every single big name recruit they were going after all come at the same time. And for like a week or so after that official visit, a lot of people were like, Ohio State seems to have made a lot of progress, not like any door closed deals, but have made significant strides. A lot of these players. And, I was feeling pretty good about myself as a Buck. But the second, like, 4th of July rolled around, it's been all downhill since. Like, no good news has came out of that visit since. And it's very rare for uncommitted kids to pick Ohio State as their last official visit and then be like, oh, whoa, now I'm sold on not coming here after taking that official. And once again, my number one source has indeed informed me that Caleb Downs is in fact a Buckeye and he will be committing to Ohio State tomorrow. But I don't know. I haven't heard anything good. And usually, the crystal balls usually don't lie. Usually they don't. They do sometimes, but usually they don't. So Caleb Downs, number one target. If Ohio State, off a miracle, somehow lands him tomorrow, this class can somehow be saved. I'm not expecting it to happen, though. And if I was Caleb Downs, to be quite honest, I would pick Alabama over Ohio State too. But that's first things first. Second things, John Walker, top 101 tech recruit for Ohio State, kind of like their only notable one tech target in this class. He's now getting crystal balls to UCF. UCF, University of Central Florida.
A very large difference.
Yeah, a bit. So it's never a good sign when a guy's picking UCF over Ohio State. I don't think Ohio State should ever be getting in recruiting battles with UCF, but it's happening. And it's happening on the D line. And I understand interior D lineman hasn't really been Ohio State's strength, but we're losing to UCF? That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. And Ohio State could have a depth problem on the interior D line down the line as a result of this. Ohio State only has 2 D tackles signed, the class of 2022 and 2023. They did land 2 pretty big name D tackles, class of 2021, but Hero Kanu and Will Smith are the only interior D tackles signed with Ohio State right now. Yeah. And that is not actor Will Smith. It is high school defensive tackle prospect Will Smith.
So I just pulled up the list of UCF defensive linemen who are in the NFL. Let me know if any of these names ring a bell. Tristan Hill, Jamias Pittman, Ledger Douzable, Terrell Troop, Paul Carrington, Elton Patterson, Greg Jefferson, Shaquem Griffin, but that's a linebacker. Now we're in the linebackers. So
Tristan Hill, I think I recognize, but I swear that guy, I'm thinking of a TCU defensive tackle.
Yeah, Tristan Hill is the most recent pick from UCF, round 2, 2019. He's on the Cowboys. You probably recognize him because you always see him in Madden when you go to draft a team.
Literally, that's actually I recognize his face.
So, currently, Ohio State is losing to a school that has produced basically no NFL talent at the D-line position. Sounds like a problem.
Yeah, that's not really a good sign. The thing is, other than defensive end right now, Ohio State has nothing to sell these kids on coming to Ohio State. They haven't put a good product on the field on defense for the past 2 seasons. And Ryan Day made a rookie mistake by hiring Kerry Coombs as D coordinator. He should not have done that. Hiring a man who's never coached as D coordinator before, should have never hired him in the first place. But he's corrected that mistake. He's got his guy in Jim Knowles. We trust, baby, God damn it. And Jim Knowles is going to take this team back. Like 2019 Ohio State defense, my man, God himself, Jeff Hafley. God, what a beautiful man. That man, his impact on defense, I miss him so much. I just miss him so much. And then immediately year after got poached head coach Boston College. He's still over there. But I mean, Ohio State doesn't really have anything to convince these players to come until they start doing something on defense. Other than edge, they're still coming. I mean, not this class, but over the past 2 years.
What they really need to do is they need to take one of their lower rated recruits and transform them into a transcendent starter for the team. And if they can do that, I think prospective players will see that they can develop properly, but they need to be
on defense, they've had to play a bunch of like lower ranked guys because their 5-stars suck. And so, which is very weird and not a great pitch. But on offense, they did that.
Yeah, all they got to do is do that on defense now, but apparently they're not capable of that.
No, I know. And that is a problem. Like, start churning out a linebacker again, boys. It's been a while. But last thing about the Ohio State of the Union address, I've been seeing on Twitter the past couple of days, a lot of fans are going crazy over a top 100 current commit to Ohio State out of the state of Florida, Dijon Johnson. A lot of people are worried this guy's on decommit watch. Apparently, he's talking with I forgot the school, but might be Florida coaches, some school in Florida, I think, but apparently he's still talking around. And all I'm going to say is I don't really know what to read into this, but I did see a tweet earlier from either him or one of his family members saying they're still locked in, committed to Ohio State, which I like. You know, I'm obviously a fan of that. And also another Florida Ohio State commit running back, Mark Fletcher. He also reasserted Ohio State fans, I'm still committed to OSU, baby. Don't worry. Even though he's also been linked to decommitting. I don't know, man. I don't know. Nothing set in stone until they sign. Maybe they decommit. Maybe not. Hopefully they stay. I don't know. It's been such a bad month of Ohio State recruiting. I haven't heard good news in a really long time.
Yeah, I don't really know how.
Even though they do have the number one class right now, yes, they're not finishing with the number one class. So I mean,
just the qualms of an Ohio State.
It's cool in July, but we got to see what it is on signing day.
All right. I don't know if does that wrap out Ohio State, the inaugural Ohio State.
Yeah, that was the Ohio State of the Union address. It'll be a little more polished next week when we see where these guys actually committed, because they're all committing tomorrow or on Thursday. So we're about to have the official address coming up soon. But yeah,
this was the inauguration.
It's just a little teaser, just letting you guys get you guys aware of what's going on.
But yeah, with that, we will close out the episode here with some NFL action. There's a lot today.
So there's a lot of big things that happened, and I think we should start with some lower notable things first, before we get into some longer debates. All so right. You know what? I'll let you go first.
Okay.
Just give me the topic, and I'll let you know if I have that, where I have that ranked on my Wojbomb tier list, because I got some things that I would say are significantly less notable than some of the funnier things we can get into. But
well, for one, I do have a nice little analytical list that I want to get into at some point during this. It's not necessarily need to be right away, but it will have to happen at some point.
I feel like we could debate a little bit if there's a list. So I got something that's not really debatable.
I've got an Aaron Rodgers sighting.
Okay, so we can we'll start with that.
All right. So I'm editing this episode today, and because I am a good editor, this picture will be on the screen here.
Because Everett has the capabilities to put in multiple photos at the same time, it will most likely be up on screen.
Apple picture products.
Right here. Right?
No, it's going to be right here. In between.
Nope. Right there. Right there.
Why are you making... No, it's right here.
Not right there. Not there. Right there.
No. All right. So Aaron Rodgers showed up to the first day of training camp today in a white tank top, or as some people like to call it, a wife beater, and jeans. A lot of people decided to, obviously compare him to Nicolas Cage. And Con Air. Apparently, the style is, Nick Cage wore a wife beater and some jeans and that. You know what I'd like to compare him to? Channing Tatum and Magic Mike.
Oh, whoa. Did Channing have flow like that back in Magic? Did he have that back in Magic Mike? Maybe in Magic Mike XL. Not sure if the original he had that.
Yeah, Grant's an avid Magic Mike.
It's my favorite movie. My mom took me to the theater. We saw Magic Mike together. It was a great mother-son bonding experience. And yeah.
You know what else?
I've been hooked ever since.
You know what else he looks like? He looks like one of the hired male like strippers that like a lot of bachelorette parties get for weddings. That's what he looks like. He's coming from his shift.
Now, do you mean that in a compliment?
I mean, obviously.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think like, okay, real quick. So I just want to like scroll back the tape a little bit about Aaron Rodgers and the whole what's kind of gone on in his life past couple months.
Oh yeah.
So I think it was going back to last year. Aaron Rodgers decided to like publicly announce he's growing out his hair, and apparently he hasn't cut it since. Based off what I've seen, it kind of reminds me of you back in 5th grade. But yeah, he's got the Goldilocks flow out right now.
The mop is out.
And let's rewind the tape a little bit. So he was in a long-time relationship with Danica Patrick, right?
Yeah.
They break up. Last summer, he was going on vacations with Top Gun Miles Teller and shit. Or Shailene Woodley. Shailene Woodley.
With Miles Teller. They were all together.
Yeah. Shailene Woodley. Mess that up. Shailene Woodley. And so Shailene Woodley and Miles Teller, obviously homies from Divergent. And probably did another movie. I don't know. But
I don't know.
Aaron Rodgers going on vacay with Miles Teller, Top Gun man. And then he breaks up with Shailene Woodley. Then he gets that weird ass tattoo with the lions.
He
like
broke
planetary shit or whatever the hell.
You forget they were engaged. Then they broke off the engagement. Then they had like a 2-week hiatus.
I did not remember the engagement part.
And then they got back together. I'm pretty sure they were engaged.
And he also did some like whack ass like eating regimen when he was in like Puerto Rico or whatever the hell, when he was like doing weird ass rituals or whatever the fuck. I don't know. I have no idea exactly what he was doing. Aaron Rodgers is a whack ass dude.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers and Shane.
He also got that bag over the offseason. Maybe that's what's kind of got this all going.
Aaron Rodgers is quite the dude, to say the least.
Who knows? Maybe Aaron Rodgers called off the wedding before he signed that contract extension.
Well, you know what?
Whoa, this is mine.
He might have.
Aaron Rodgers isn't much of a family man. Remember, he doesn't talk to his brother anymore.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's why he's now on the next cast list for the next Magic Mike movie.
Yeah, Aaron's all over the news. You're obviously a little more animated about him than I am.
With Aaron Rodgers, though, I honestly would not be surprised if this actually was for him, like trying to get a gig on the next Magic Mike movie. Like with it being Aaron Rodgers, I actually wouldn't be surprised by that.
Yeah.
But that was my little Aaron Rodgers sighting today.
Fair enough. Okay. I got some lesser cool news to get into. Not really much here. I just kind of thought this was a little interesting. Darius Leonard informed the media today that he wants to be known as Shaquille Leonard from here on out. That's his middle name. Apparently, he was called that when he was growing up. In my opinion, Darius Leonard rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
So what? Darius Leonard.
Well, it's the same.
That's a great name. Shaquille Leonard. Shaquille Darius. I just think Darius Leonard.
If you were to look at a name on paper, like if you were scouting on a team and you just saw the name, it doesn't even matter if it's like the third dude down on the list, but you saw the name Darius Leonard, and then you saw the name Shaquille Leonard underneath it, I'm scared of Darius Leonard. Even
I
if it's the
think
other way
I'm
around.
more intimidated by Darius Leonard. I think Shaquille Leonard, he might be able to brand himself better. Maybe that's what he's going after. I guess Shaquille is just like a more recognizable name.
Shaquille
But to
O'Neal.
me, Darius Leonard, that's just hard as shit. That's an amazing name, in my opinion. I don't. I mean,
just
maybe
think-
this is a brand move. I don't know.
I just think the name Darius in general is like for a football player, Darius.
I'm trying to think of other Dariuses right now. At least currently,
Marcel Darius, I think his name. Like there was a defensive tackle for the Jaguars on the 2017 team that was.
Anyway, the name's tough, and I like it. So, yeah, I mean, just want to point that out. Another thing, Chris Carson medically retiring with a neck injury. On my slight stint as a Seahawk, I wouldn't say fan, but spectator. When I was a Seattle spectator, Chris Carson was one of my favorite players to watch. This guy just like when on the field, lethal.
He's very hard to stop. Yeah,
lethal. It's just neck injury. Like these things. He has an injury every year. Well, essentially, he misses extended time every year.
This is my question. This is like the third or fourth career-ending neck injury that has occurred for the Seattle Seahawks. Like, if you're the doctor for the Seattle Seahawks, like, why is this a reoccurring issue? Why is it always someone's neck? Like, I don't think you have Greg Williams on staff. Like, you shouldn't be.
I mean, I'm not sure if there's like a direct correlation here. Well, maybe they're just rushing them back. Well, the Paul or Ricardo Lockett,
like almost.
I'm not sure if he had a history. I'm not sure if he had a history of neck things, but Chris Carson has, and he's
Cam Chancellor also retired due to a neck injury. Chris Carson retired due to a neck injury. I don't know what Earl Thomas's deal was. I think that was
Earl Thomas. He got hurt like right before he left. He might have just hated Seattle.
I mean, dude, if I was an injured player in Seattle too, I wouldn't like it very much.
Well, also just like the way they handled, like we're picking Russ over the defense, and then they proceeded to do absolutely nothing to help out Russ, and it was like, this makes no sense. I just don't understand.
To which Russ was like, "No, like I'm always here for you, Seattle."
Now Russ is let's ride Broncos country.
That's right.
The most cringe video of all time.
All right, do we want to get into this list now, the meat and potatoes of
we could list? I got one more. I got two more quick little reaction things, which I think will be quicker, and then I think the list we could talk a little longer. Okay. I'm assuming you have this written down somewhere. Julio Jones has signed with the Tampa Bay Bucks. He's joining Tom in Tampa Bay. At this point, if you're over 30 and you're washed up or whatever, just go to Tampa, man. It's the Tampa Bay retirement home, and they're still contenders though. I mean, it's a ring chasing retirement home. It's not a poverty retirement home. It also fits that it's in Florida too. I think the Bucks are 1000% winning a Super Bowl next year. It's just, I'm so certain of it. I'm so positive it's meant to be. It's meant to be. Tom Brady's the GOAT, and he has to go out with 9. Wait. He has 7 right now, not 7. 8, right? Okay, thank God. 7. I thought he had 8 for a sec. He's going out with 8.
No, the poverty retirement home goes to the Cleveland Browns.
They're young.
Oh, okay, hold on.
I don't think we need to get into a tangent on this, to be honest. I think we got some other things to talk about, but
no, we do.
It's just a retirement home, but they're still winning down in Tampa. So it's an impressive retirement home.
Oh, you know what it is?
It's like a senior executive board.
Yeah, no, the poverty retirement home is the Jacksonville Jaguars. The other Florida team.
That's just a bad place to go. But yeah, that's going to Bucks. Yeah, and then before list, I got one more quick little thing. I'll let you wrap up real quick with Julio. Right. But
no, I mean, it's just I mean, what he's going to be their third option now, fourth option. They've got Russell Gage there too, so I don't really know. It's just like they like taking broken players, just players who haven't played well. Le'Veon, I think Le'Veon was on the team. Antonio Brown, obviously. Now Julio, they like trying to fix things, make them play better, make them back to try and play how they were.
Kyle Rudolph too, another older guy. Cameron Brate's old as shit. I mean, like
Tom Brady really needed it to resurge his career. Resurrect.
I mean, they all want to come play with Tom though. I mean,
no, I know that he
is
a big selling point.
So yeah, Julio to the Bucks. I was kind of confused, like, how the hell is Julio Jones on a team for the past couple of months? But of course, he's going to Tampa Bay.
Like I said, he's washed.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Watch him just like casually put up just like 900 yards and have just a career resurgence with Tom Brady, because of course it's gonna happen.
It just happens. Of course, it's the same thing. It was the same thing with Randy Moss. He wasn't doing too well.
It's just gonna happen. But okay, next thing I got allegedly.
Journalism.
Allegedly, the 49ers are moving on from Jimmy G and going with Trey Lance. Allegedly. Now this is what I think. Usually, when I hear reports coming out from a coach or GM, like I'm trying to think of an example. Like, let's say it's about like the draft. Like, we really like X at number 3.
Yeah, we really like.
It's always cap. Like, I always assume that's a bunch of cap. They're just lying. They're never just going to publicly say what they actually want to do. That would be stupid. No one would do that. But for this move, announcing a starter, I think it's a little different. And I think this might be legit. I think this actually might be legit.
No,
or at least he will be the starter for training camp for now. I don't know. Maybe I think this might be legit.
I've heard rumors for a while that Jimmy. I mean, obviously everybody's heard that Jimmy G's on his way out. We were a little hesitant because they said that and then they never did anything about it. And it was like, does Trey Lance just suck? Like, why is nothing happening?
We have no idea if he's good or not. We have no idea.
I have a feeling it's one of two things. Either the bridges were burned with Jimmy G, just with all the rumors going on. He's like, it's obvious you guys just don't care. So you're going to deal with this just dumpster fire that you've got going on now. Or it was like, Trey Lance is actually going to be good and we don't need you anymore, so we want your capital. So by leaking this stuff out, you've now got teams that are going to be like, okay, by teams I mean the Browns, that are going to be like, all right, so he's on the market, right? And then you're going to be like, no, he's not. But then they're going to be like, oh, but what if we give you a second round pick? Is he on the market then? You're like, I don't know. It's like, all right, we'll give you a second round pick.
Well, I don't think Jimmy's worth a second rounder, but
no, but that's what I mean.
I get your.
He's getting like a fifth rounder in there. He's gonna get a fifth rounder,
if even. Baker was like a 6th.
No, he was a 5th. He was a 5th rounder. So that's a comparison.
I can't believe I might be like, yeah, Jim's probably 5th too.
What if it's like
6th
conditional 5th rounder?
A swap. A 5th swap.
Oh boy.
No, yeah, but I mean, I think that might actually be legit, though. I think that might actually be legit. Okay. Now, do you want to get into your list, or do you want to talk about Kyler Murray's contract clause? Which do you want to talk about first?
I haven't heard Kyler Murray's contract clause.
I think we got. Okay, do you want to do the list first?
No, let's do the contract clause. Now,
okay, Kyler Murray. I can't believe you didn't read this. This is something you'd be sending to me. But okay, Kyler Murray. Apparently in his contract clause, I would get the exact quotes out, but everyone's probably seen it. If Everett's a great editor, it'll be on the screen right now. But apparently, Kyler Murray has a clause in his contract where he needs he's required to watch 4 hours of film independently per week, 4 hours per week on his own. Those 4 hours do not count if he's watching it in the team facilities with coaches. It needs to be completely on his own outside the facility. He has to do it for 4 hours a week. And he cannot be playing video games while watching film. Specifically, he cannot be playing video games while watching film. So my first reaction to this, obviously the video game part is hilarious. 4 hours? That's it? I don't know about you, but I pray Justin Herbert spending more than 4 hours a week on his own watching film. That breaks down to like 40 minutes like a day.
Are they like, does Kyler Murray just not watch film? Are they concerned that he's going to be like Jamarcus Russell? Like with that?
So,
like, has he been?
So, I mean, obviously he's not Jamarcus Russell because
yeah, obviously, but I mean,
performs, but this is something I just want, I just want to think. Zach Smith, Coach Zach Smith, I am a USC guy now, but I'm attacking Oklahoma here. Coach Zach Smith pointed out, and you pointed out earlier with Rattler and maybe Tulane, he wasn't really motivated to prepare for that game. Do those Oklahoma quarterbacks have a problem with preparation? Kyler Murray, does he have a problem with prep? Does Spencer Rattler have that same problem? Does Baker have that problem?
Hold on. So all of those.
Because Zach Smith, his argument was you're out of what's the term? Out of practice regiment, your I don't know, attention to detail, your effort you put into the game outside of practice, that's instilled to you in college. You know, you learn that shit in college. I don't know about you, but the NFL, they like to draft mature guys at the quarterback position. I don't know about you, man. But hopefully you like a quarterback who watches film.
My question is, all those quarterbacks were developed under Lincoln Riley. Does that mean that USC's got to be a little concerned here? Caleb Williams.
So hey, I'm a USC guy. I'm not attacking Lincoln here. I just
making the observation.
Maybe a little trend just to point out, hey, is this a concern? I don't know.
That's got to be a question for Miller.
I don't know. I just thought that was a little interesting. But okay. So first, the 4 hours per week mandate. Does that mean Kyler was watching like 2 hours of film a week last year or something?
4 hours, like
that's so little. That's your job.
If you really love the sport of football, you will sit there and you will knock all 4 hours out in one day. You'd be doing about, I mean, I actually can't.
I bet Tom Brady was probably watching multiple hours per day.
Tom Brady probably had it on multiple televisions. That's probably what he watches instead of watching commercial cable.
He probably had 8 different monitors with different angles of the same place, so he could really dissect everything.
Peyton Manning and Eli Manning do that on Monday alone. Like that's.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's just like that's a little concerning, and I mean, to need to put that in words in a contract, that can't be very promising if you're a Cardinals fan.
How do the Cardinals track this? Did they install cameras in Kyler Murray's house?
So I got to read up on this. I'm not entirely sure. If I remember correctly, I think he self-reports it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's going to work wonders, Cardinals.
Exactly. Like, the only way I guess it's like, I guess they're just going to have to, I mean, well, they'll know throughout the week of practice if he's been watching film or not. But like,
you know what my favorite thing is, and I like this is a well-known thing now, is they would give Jamarcus Russell a tape like for film, and the next day they would ask him if he watched the tape or read
like,
the playbook. Whatever. He'd be like, "Yeah, of course." Like, what are you talking about?
The whole thing up.
And the tape was blank.
All blank tapes.
There was no tape. That's what they got to do. They literally have to do that with Kyler Murray. Like, Kyler, you watched the tape? He's like, yeah, coach, I watched it. It's literally like just Dancing in the Rain playing on repeat.
And I'm just saying, like, I saw another kind of stupid, dumb graph. I didn't really put much thought into this. I just thought it was kind of funny. It was a graph comparing Kyler Murray's fantasy production before and after the annual Call of Duty release. And let's just say there is a noticeable drop off, or not noticeable, but there is a consistent downwards trend week to week.
So
especially after Call of Duty gets released. So let's just say FaZe K1 loves Warzone. People forget he is in FaZe. And I mean, if the Cardinals are including in the contract clause, please do not play video games while watching film. maybe he's trying to become a professional streamer and get out of the league. Maybe he's trying to make his way out of the league, get his way into esports.
Yeah, Kyrie Irving can help you with that one.
Yeah, take a page out of Kyrie's book.
Carl
Take a page
Anthony
out of Ben
Towns.
Simmons' book.
Oh, that's the one. Ben Simmons. Yep.
There's a lot of guys that you can follow in their footsteps, and they can lead you in the right direction.
I think Josh Hart plays. Josh Hart's a big gamer. It's a lot
Josh
of NBA
Hart
players.
too. A lot of
Yeah, Juju.
Mm-hmm.
But
another phase guy.
God. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna need you to send me that, by the way, so I can put it in here.
I got that.
But to wrap up this episode, it is from Sports Illustrated. All right. This is not a ball sack sports post. By Michael.
Yeah,
Fabiano.
This list has been getting hyped up for like the past 30 minutes. So I'm pumped right now.
It's by Michael Fabiano. So obviously he's a very notable NFL insider. It is fantasy football, and it is what quarterbacks have the tendency to target certain position groups the most and the least. They had to have had a minimum of 12 starts last season, and we'll be going through the running backs, the wide receivers, and the tight ends. And I will be eating my words from last week or a couple weeks ago when I was talking about Kirk Cousins. So let's start with the running backs here. The quarterbacks that target the running backs the most, and this is good to know for obviously fantasy football, depending on what league you play, right? You would likely want to have a quarterback that targets every position the most. Wide receivers probably. But the quarterbacks with the most targets to running backs, no surprise in number one, Matt Ryan, 26.1%. Cordell Patterson is his running back. Not surprised. This year, he also has Jonathan Taylor and Nyheim Hines. Both are pretty good check down running backs. So no surprise there. Number two, Sam Darnold. Christian McCaffrey's on the team, 23.9% targeted.
Sense.
Three is Jared Goff, Lions, 23.5%. Four is Taylor Heineke at 23.3%. And five is Derek Carr, 23.2%. Wrapping out 6 through 10 is Carson Wentz, Mac Jones, Jalen Hurts, Baker Mayfield, and Jimmy G. Now, the fewest targets for running backs. Matthew Stafford at 12.6%. Russell Wilson at 13.8%. Tua at 14.2%, and Josh Allen at 14.2%. Lamar Jackson finishes out the list at 5 at 14.7. Honorable mentions go to Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Patrick Mahomes, Ben Roethlisberger, and one Kyler Murray.
Okay, so I was just sitting there for a sec trying to digest that, and I realized the reason why that was so hard for me to like put together quickly. Let's just go by teams.
Okay.
Just say the team name. I think it'll be easier for me to translate in terms of fantasy position wise. Exactly what I'm thinking.
Most targets, 1 Falcons, 2 Panthers, 3 Lions, 4 Commanders, 5 Raiders. Honorable mentions: Colts, Patriots, Eagles, Browns, and 49ers. Fewest targets.
I feel like Raiders, that one makes sense because their O-line's shit. The Lions, Goff. I guess Jamal Williams and Swift getting more action than I thought.
Yeah, the big surprising one is Mac Jones, Patriots, Damian Harris. I guess Sony Michel's not on the team anymore, but Damian Harris doesn't really strike me as a check down back.
James White still on the team?
Might be. Is Rex Burkhead's on the Texans now. He was a big check down guy. And then fewest targets, number 1, Rams, 2 Seahawks, 3 Dolphins, 4 Bills, 5 Ravens. Honorable mentions: Jaguars, Bears, Chiefs, Steelers, and Cardinals.
I'm surprised.
The big reason why I was directly saying the quarterbacks' names, though, is some of these quarterbacks aren't on the same teams. So keep in mind, if you are trying to draft Russell Wilson, he is now on the Broncos, and he had the second lowest target ranked running backs at 13.8%.
I also just think, I think it's a little hard to compare those with new offenses. Russ, I think Javonte Melvin. I mean, Yeah, they're probably going to be catching some passes out of the backfield, in my opinion. But
Nathaniel
I don't
Hackett
know.
is
They
there
have a lot of
too.
choices to do on offense. I'm still a Broncos hater this year. I think they're going to be the worst team in the AFC best. There's no way all those teams finish above 500. Like everyone's like, oh yeah, every team will go at least 12-5. It's like it literally can't happen. But yeah,
Yeah. All right. Wide receivers, most targeted teams, or teams that target wide receivers the most. Number one, the Rams, 71%. Two, Bills at 68.1%. Three is the Bengals at 65.4%. Four is the Steelers with Ben Roethlisberger at 63.8%. New team, new quarterback this year. Five is Trevor Lawrence, 63.3% on the Jaguars. Honorable mentions
T-Law.
6 through 10. Jets, Seahawks, Vikings, Cardinals, and Packers. I think it's really interesting that Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars are there at 63.3%. I guess they didn't really have much else to target. But with Christian Kirk there now, obviously.
Wait, okay. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm going back to that running back list. Where was the Chargers on there?
The Chargers were not on the list.
So like middle range, like
Middle
mid-tier?
range.
Okay, okay.
Kind of important to note when Austin Eckler is very high on the PPR list.
Well, I'm just
means that they're not
total share. I mean, they're throwing a lot. So
they are a pass first offense, but it is just important to note if you are in a PPR league, obviously Austin Eckler is a PPR monster, but if the team is on a trend of not dominantly targeting the running backs, might yield a different outcome.
Well,
just as what it says.
they just do pass a shit ton.
Yeah.
Like he still gets a
volume,
lot.
They get a lot of volume.
Yeah. So I mean,
what I find interesting is that the Jaguars target wide receivers the fifth most in the NFL. Last season, Marvin Jones and Laviska Shenault both had more than 100 targets. No other wideout had more than 51. They just signed Christian Kirk, and they're getting Travis Etienne back, who they probably play out on the line of scrimmage, probably in the slot, something like that. I guess they put
what?
Well, no, they like Travis Etienne, obviously running back, but knowing what the
bro Etienne he ain't playing slot, bro. That guy, I'm like Etienne. Okay,
in college though,
I will give Etienne. I don't think I've ever heard that in my life. Whenever I saw Ohio State play against Clemson, Etienne's in the backfield. He's catching screens. He's doing so much in the pass game with T-Law.
I thought they lined him up, in my opinion,
what I cannot pinpoint an exact moment where he stood out from a play on the line of scrimmage. I don't think that's something they do with him. But Etienne, that guy, to this day, Jordan Fuller, like the only broken tackle I really remember of that 2019 season, he's out here hand fighting with Travis Etienne, and Etienne just walked right by him. I was like, what the fuck just happened? Like, I don't even know what the hell I don't know. But like Etienne has that respect for me.
Yeah.
I think he can get a lot of target. I think last year, maybe some of it had to do with like Urban was like Carlos Hyde over James Robinson, and like he ain't throwing the ball to Carlos. Yeah. So let's just say that.
Also, that O-line was not great.
I thought they
were middle, but I mean, also with a rookie quarterback, you kind of need an above average O-line sometimes to be able to supplement for
not for Joe Burrow.
Well, yeah, seeing he didn't play half.
Well, now he does have it.
Seeing he didn't play half of his rookie season, because the O-line was so atrocious.
But then he went to a Super Bowl with an asshole right side of the O-line.
Yeah, he didn't win because of the O-line. But what's also interesting,
I'm just saying, you just said if you have a young quarterback and you don't have an elite O-line, like you're just shit. But he took him to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I said he lost because he didn't have a good O-line though.
But he found success with a shit O-line.
Did.
Now he has.
But I was talking about rookie quarterbacks, specifically rookie quarterbacks, not second year. Like rookie quarterbacks, you make different like rookie mistakes. Like that's the saying, rookie mistakes. Good O-line can sometimes.
Now, okay, actually, you kind of just like spurred my my head on a little thought here. When is the cutoff from you got to be good now in the NFL? Is it year 2? So Joe Burrow, because he was a sophomore, because he was a sophomore, because he was a second year. Oh, you don't have that excuse anymore.
It depends. It depends on the position group. I feel like for quarterbacks, you're just expected to do a lot better your second year because now you're acclimated. But for a lot of players, it's kind of year 3. I feel like is that year that you're expected. Like this is your boom or bust year. Like by year 3, if you're not doing well, like you're.
I feel like for like maybe lineman positions, like linebacker, maybe DB, yeah. I feel like quarterback, well, running back's obviously a different. They're special. They're special breeds of position. You got to perform from day one, and then it's only downhill from there, brother. But like receiver, I kind of feel like you're kind of expected like year 2. If you don't break out year 2, they're kind of like, oh, this guy's not what we thought.
So maybe it is year 2.
Quarterback, though, this is what I'm saying. Quarterback, I think it's a little unfair that people are just like jumping ship very quickly. Well, would you say people are getting too impatient? Maybe we could say that for Jets with Darnold.
Like I said,
maybe we could say that with like, the Browns are pretty patient.
I think that
patient with Baker.
I think that it's the Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes effect. I think that seeing quarterbacks get success so early is now making people very impatient when it comes to.
And same thing with Burrow too.
If your quarterback,
Deshaun Watson, also you could argue.
Josh Allen, like if your
they were patient with him. It paid off
with him. And I will say that first year, I remember the Bills weren't great his rookie year. He was average, but obviously average for a rookie quarterback.
He took significant steps up every year, though.
Yeah, I would say after that first year, I don't know if anybody panned him out to be like the best quarterback in the NFL this year.
It also helped the Patriots falling off without Brady. So
but
that also
like
helped
I said,
him.
I think that it's just a domino effect of Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. But I think that people inside the NFL are a lot more lenient when it comes to that. It's still 3 years. Like if you're not kind of like 3 years for a quarterback, like that third season, you better be playing well. Like you better see a lot of improvement. If you don't, it's a sign you're not going to be with that team.
Yeah, no, I'd say it's definitely based on position. I don't know. It just seems very weird to me. Some teams, Bills were patient. Panthers weren't. Jets weren't.
Yeah.
For some reason, the Giants are patient with Danny Dimes. I mean, that's like the worst guy you would want to be patient with.
They really think that he's their future. They really like him. He's just too close of a similar
Eli Manning.
Eli Manning.
Just and only based off like appearance.
Yeah.
Like Danny, like it's hilarious that like Danny Dimes low-key can run, which is just hilarious.
Don't forget he tripped himself last season with almost a 75-yard run for a tub.
No, yeah, I mean it's just.
Let me finish out this list real quick. The only thing that I think is also just very interesting and interesting to note this next year with Garrett Wilson being on the team, the Jets had the 6th highest passing percentile to wide receivers. Interesting note. The fewest targets to wide receivers. Matt Ryan on the Falcons. So Falcons 43.2%, Baker Mayfield Browns 47.4%, Eagles 48.8%, Lions 50.4%, Raiders 50.5%. Honorable mentions.
That'll change.
Broncos, Chiefs, Patriots, Colts, and Dolphins.
I think a lot of these make sense.
Yeah.
Like I think like a lot of that adds up.
Well, what surprises me the most is wide receiver fewest targets. Well, it kind of surprised me, kind of doesn't. But the Chiefs are at 7. I guess they target Kelsey a lot, and I guess they also don't need to target receivers that much because you give it to Tyreek once and he scorches the field. So overall, you don't need to do much.
Yeah.
But yeah. then this is
what is the Chiefs running back rate? I'm
the
curious if that's
Chiefs were
listed or
negative
if
there. Yeah, they were listed. Fewest targets, they were eighth fewest targets.
so tight end they must be at like 1.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
tight ends most targets.
Yeah.
One, Dolphins, 29%. Browns at 2, 28.7. 3 is the Falcons, 27.7. 4 is Ravens, 26. 5 is Bears, 26. Honorable mentions, 6 through 10. Broncos, Eagles, Chiefs at 8, Bucks, and Patriots at 10. Surprising, though. I mean, with that offense, I guess you really don't need to throw it that many times. That's my analysis there.
Yeah,
but what I think
actually that actually kind of adds up.
What I think is really important to note here: Justin Fields going into year 2 for the Browns or for the Bears.
Might as well be the Browns.
Browns wish they had Justin Fields. But 5th highest targeting rate, 26%. Cole Kmet next year. I think they could take a big leap. I think that could go up. So if you're looking for a sneaky tight end pickup and Irv Smith is gone, Cole Kmet.
Only if Irv Smith is gone.
Only if Irv Smith is gone. But all right, wrapping out this list and wrapping out this episode, least targets. Bills at 1, Panthers at 2, Jets at 3, Bengals at 4, Rams at 5, 6 through 10, Vikings, Saints, Packers, Cardinals, and Texans. That's why I said I eat my words a little bit. Obviously, last year is a bit of a different thing. Kevin O'Connell's here now, and that's why my analysis is that Irv Smith will break out. Because last year also we had Irv Smith was hurt, and then we had Tyler Conklin, who was originally supposed to be a backup, and he's a pass blocker, so it's a little bit different. Now we have a vertical threat. But yeah, that is the wrap out of the list. So
yeah, I feel like because there's so many pieces moved around this offseason, so many new coaches, quarterbacks moving around, whatever piece on offense, I feel like it's a little hard. Like some teams, yeah, you can project it, but for like
I just think
Broncos, for example, we can't. I want to see this graph at week 4 and week 8. Like,
yeah,
like that's when I want to. That's when I feel like we can really get something out of it here.
I just feel like preliminarily, it's an interesting thing to note. Because a lot of obviously teams have shifted around, quarterbacks have shifted around. It's interesting to note, is it either the coordinator head coach that's making these tendencies happen, or is it the quarterback and their reads that's making it happen?
I would definitely, both things are factoring in. I would have to say overall it's the style of offense and the system they're in.
You think overall, it's the priority?
I would say, well, depending on the play, certain position groups won't even be targeted. For example, like I think I don't know. I feel like definitely the scheme you're in impacts it slightly more. Obviously, the quarterback plays a big variable in that, the players you have on the field.
I think it's very dependent on personnel. So if a team that didn't have a good tight end last year has a bit
of course, like last year, I mean,
they might target a tight end a little bit more, although I wouldn't expect it to be a huge jump. So keep that in mind. But if a team, has a quarterback that has a high percentile target to tight ends or whatever, and he's on a new team, I think that you can still assume that it's going to drop off a little bit if you don't have as good of a tight end, but I still would expect it to be there because that's based off of reads.
Yeah. The tight end's a bit of a weirder in the running back. I feel like the Chiefs, it obviously makes sense. Like, with their like tight end number and stuff.
Than expected. You would expect them to lead both wide receiver and tight end targets because I guess it's more by like the volume rather than percentile. Like, because
if it's number, honestly,
it's a little
even by number of targets. Going back to your logic, probably isn't too many targets when Tyreek's scoring 80-yard tubs. So, I mean, yeah, I feel like we got to revisit this list week 4. We got to revisit week 4, revisit week 8, and then we can really start making some sense out of it. I think so. I feel like it's a little hard to project next year. I feel like different style of offenses, pieces moving around will change it a lot for sure.
Just gonna say Aerosmith's gonna break out next year. But
you could die on that hill, brother. We better pray Irv Smith finishes top 8 fantasy tight ends next year.
With that said, though, I think that's gonna do it for the episode. Special guests coming for Two-Lane Tuesday next week. So stay tuned. If you haven't checked out the inaugural Two-Lane Tuesday, Sincere Hainsworth, Hudson Lilybridge, phenomenal episode.
Great episode. Check it out.
Phenomenal guests. And
but yeah, if you've made it all the way to the end, make sure to rate us 5 stars. Download, follow the pod, like and subscribe on YouTube, and support your water boys wherever you find us. But Everett,
Waterboys out.